Hey, Cookies here. It's time to talk about another dungeon for our Bigwig setup guide. So this time, I believe we are on the Dawnbreaker, which is the last of the four dungeons from the War Within that'll be in Season 1. So let's just go to the first boss. We got Speaker Shadowcrown. Let's see here. Darkness comes is when you have to fly away. Not too important, as it's pretty obvious when it's happening. I believe it's also percentage based. I'm pretty sure she does it at 50% and 0%. Let's see, we have Burning Shadows. This is the dispel that she puts on a player. It deals initial damage every 0.5 seconds, and then once it dispels, it puts a heal absorb on everyone in the group. Looks like it says it just does it to 4 players. I wonder how that works with like targeting and stuff. Probably leave that one alone too, but we'll see. Let's see what other ones we got. Obsidian Blast. Yeah, this looks pretty good. So, dark energy at a target, inflicting 2.2 million damage and 190,000 to all other targets. So this is like the tank hit, but it also does unavoidable group-wide damage. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And this is the portals that drop on the ground, or the little, the little rifts that drop on the ground that you have to get out of. And then, let's see, Mythic, it's actually the two same things. It's just, I guess they're different abilities. Oh, it's because the blast turns into a beam. Okay. Okay, cool. So the way that we'll do this, because these are two different difficulties, but they're similar abilities, is we just do it on both. So what I would say is that our red bar is going to be Obsidian Blast and Obsidian Beam, because those are the same ability. So we're going to set this to red. We're going to copy that, and then just set our normal bar to red. And then we'll set Collapsing Darkness and Collapsing Night to yellow. Okay, and then Obsidian Beam is going to be red. And then Collapsing Night is going to be yellow. And then for a countdown, let's see. Countdown would probably be the Obsidian Blast and the Obsidian Beam, just so we know when it's going to happen. Because like the beam, for instance, on Mythic difficulty, she teleports into the middle of the room and then starts spinning the beam around the room. So it might be nice to know when that's going to happen so that we're ready to, be towards the middle of the room and start moving. So we'll go ahead and set that to our countdown. And I think that pretty much covers it for this boss. And I forgot if I might have not mentioned this at the start of the video because I've been doing it for all the other ones. But our goal here, whenever we mess with our bigwigs, at least me personally when I'm setting it up, is to have, because I use these like default grayish bar colors, like this right here. So my goal is to set one ability for each boss to a red bar, which is like the most important thing I want to be paying attention to. And then one ability to a yellow bar, which is kind of like a secondary thing that I want to pay attention to. And then use a countdown somewhere. So a countdown being, an announcer in the Bigwigs pack goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the ability happens. And we don't want to overlap. We don't want to create multiple red bars. We don't want to create multiple yellow bars. The only reason we did it on this boss is because her abilities are just the same in different difficulties, but they have slightly different, names and probably spell IDs and stuff. So it won't recognize them. So like if we just set these ones down here to red and yellow, then if we do normal and heroic, it's not going to show up. So let's see. So next up we have the the Nerubian boss. So we have Terrifying Slam. That's where the tank hit that he does, and it's like an AoE fear if you're nearby. We have Dark Orb, which is definitely the most important if you're targeted by it. And then Shadow Decay is when he just does like a AoE channel that's unavoidable damage to everybody. So as a healer, Shadowy Decay, without a doubt, is going to be the most important thing that we're going to want to heal. So this is going to be what I would set to as my red bar. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then I would say after that, probably the Dark Orb, just so we know when it's happening so that we can kind of pre-position for it. And also we have to heal that as well, because when it comes into contact with something, it deals unavoidable group-wide damage, even if it travels super far. So, definitely an important ability to pay attention to. And then for a countdown, I guess we could do the Terrifying Slam, or we do the Shadowy Decay just to be extra, you know, like ahead of time we know that it's happening in case we didn't see the bar color or anything like that on our Bigwigs. So I think we will do that. I think we'll set the countdown to Shadowy Decay, because the tank hit really doesn't matter, because it shows you ahead of time before it's happening, and it's not super important to us. Cool, pretty straightforward boss. So now we will go to Rasha'nan. This is the last boss. We have the bomb spawning. These are important to pick up and stuff. We have Rolling Acid. This is the debuff that it applies where one player needs to get to the side of the room. We have Erosive Spray, which is the unavoidable group-wide damage that he does. So this is definitely going to be like probably the most important. And then Mythic Mode mechanic, which I haven't seen yet. Expel Webs. Okay, so it's just in phase 1 he does the Expel Webs, because he does this in the second phase, I believe. It's like an AoE ability that he does to 2 players. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, I think the most important thing is definitely going to be the Erosive Spray. That's like the unavoidable group-wide damage that he does. So that's going to be our red bar. Just like a channel that he does over... It doesn't say how long he does it for, but he applies 3 stacks of this debuff, I believe. And then after this, we'll probably set just similar to the last boss, since that unavoidable AoE is a countdown. We're going to do the same thing for this one. That way our brain just works the same. And then this is where we're chasing him, so that doesn't really matter too much. And stage 2. Okay, I actually don't know if I've seen... I thought this was in Heroic, but this sounds very different, but maybe not. I think for our yellow bar, we'll just do the Rolling Acid, since that's an important thing to just be aware of when it's happening, so that we can kind of pre-position for it in case we get... So I'll just set that to yellow, and then we have our countdown already. The only thing we might want to change once we actually do the dungeon on Mythic is the Expel Webs or the Spinneret Strands, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see. So that's what I'll set it up for now. Red bar is the Erosive Spray and the countdown, and then our yellow bar is Rolling Acid, just so we can pay attention to that. And I think that's it. So we'll just kind of browse through the trash really quick. I don't really think, to my knowledge, that there's anything too much that I'd like to do. Just because a lot of this stuff I don't get to see in, what's it called, in Heroic. So yeah, we're going to leave this stuff alone. Might mess with it later, but leave it alone for now. Okay, cool. And I think that's it for the Dawnbreakers. So thank you guys so much for watching. This weekend, because next week the raid releases and all that, so if you're watching this ahead of time, this weekend I'm going to take a kind of intermission break between doing all of the dungeons, and I'm going to do the raid Bigwigs setup guide, or the walkthrough of me setting it up, since I got to get that ready before the raid releases. And then once the raid comes out on Tuesday, then we'll go back to shifting over to the remainder of the Mythic 0 dungeons, which are going to be the new dungeons like Misatirna Scythe, Siege of Borealis, Grimbatol, Necrotic Wake, and we'll set all that up together. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and comment down below, just so that these Bigwigs guides get seen by people, especially before, you know, the content comes out, because that's when it's probably most relevant. And these Bigwig guides definitely are like my least viewed content that I make, but I do enjoy making it, so you can help out in that way. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.